disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Joe Harley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
What's up, bro?
Joining us this week, the unofficial fifth member of the team, the big sushi himself, Jeff Doss. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Tuesdays, you got the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Thursdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel.
Wednesdays, we got the traditional way with Brett Shumway. And once a month, we got the extra scoop with Peyton Fender and Sushi Doss.
For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Fellas, it's showtime. What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up? You know what? I'm gonna make it short and sweet. Work's got crazy, but we're at the finish line now. All them ballots and all that presidential election stuff, we got it all out. Nobody can blame us for nothing. We're good to go. So, like, we did our job. I was off today, so I don't even got to deal with it. Other than that, got a nice Lions win over the Packers and that wet, rainy bullcrap. And my daughter, she did the play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. She killed it all 3 nights, man. Like,
Awesome.
She showed everybody that she's here to play, and she's here to show everybody who she is. So she did a real good job. I was really proud of her. So
It's awesome.
Good. You were there all 3
dad
days?
Moment. I left work early on Sunday to go see. So just because I never got to be there. So the funny thing is, these kids are so serious the first 2 days. And on the third day, I didn't know this because I've never made it to the Sunday show because I work. They start to riff a little bit. So they were going a little bit off script and doing a little improv. So I was like, oh, okay, I see. They get a little crazy on the last day. My wife's like, oh, yeah, they always do that because they can't get in trouble because, it's the last show. I'm like, I didn't know they did that. It was fun. So the next is the musical. I think that's in January, the beginning of February, early February. And it's Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
So does that make you want to go to the last show more often?
It does, actually. It was quite entertaining.
That seems like that would be something that would be up your alley.
You know what? The one kid, and he's a junior, so he still has, 3 more shows. He slipped up and threw an F-bomb out there.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the show had its own little raunch to it anyway. I mean, one of the characters' names was Agnes the Ass-Hatted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a Dungeons and Dragons character. So,
it was a Bible story?
This is not a Bible. This is just this is a play. The Bible story is Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. That's the
that's
the musical. No, this one. So this was called She Kills Monsters. This dealt with like bullying and like your jocks and your popular kids versus the nerds, and they told a story about a sister who was popular and the other sister who was a little bit nerdy. The nerdy sister died, and so her older sister was trying to learn about her through a game of Dungeons and Dragons, and she was meeting all her friends and all that stuff. So she got to learn more about her sister that she didn't really know because she thought her sister was weird. So she learned everything, and then it all wrapped up at the end. It was cool. It was very interesting, and my daughter was a narrator, so she would come out, give a monologue of what was going to happen, and then you'd have 3-4 scenes, and then she'd do that again. And I think she was in like 6, 7, 8 scenes, something like that. So, and she did really good. She had to speak like in a medieval kind of old timey accent, and she did good. She killed it.
So
she's very expressive.
Has she been walking around the house practicing that medieval accent driving you guys crazy?
So her director was like trying to give her ideas of what to watch at home, but like a lot of his stuff, she's not like. There is a Dungeons and Dragons movie, but they don't talk different in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now the original one they did in like 2005 had more of what she was looking for, and
Like
he told her to watch.
type of language?
No, it was just an older movie based on the game. But they redid it like 3 years ago in 2021, I believe.
Okay.
And she watched it. I mean, it was okay movie. Wasn't my favorite. And then he was telling her to watch like Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings would have given her a better, but she just can't get into that.
Didn't they just come out with Dungeons
which
and Dragons
kills
movie?
me because I love Lord of the Rings, but you know.
What'd you say, Angel?
Didn't they just come out with a Dungeons and Dragons movie last year?
That's what I thought, but Joe said 2021.
No, they
I
just
thought
came out.
Maybe it was last year. I don't
Okay.
remember. I thought it could have been last year. I thought it was
Okay.
2021.
The only reason why is because I remember when I saw it, I was like, I remember I saw the preview. I said, why would they make a movie about this? Like, what is going on here?
I mean, it's a popular game, man.
It's a popular game. It gets a big following. So actually, and then for people that like to LARP, it's like a big thing. So I think they went to like the movie theaters with like all like the gear on.
Oh yeah. That happens with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Melissa said that she wants to go up to that Renaissance Festival. I've never been to that thing. That's not really my thing.
Oh, the Renaissance Festival is a good time.
Yeah, that's
like
just not my thing.
I
just can't see myself getting into it.
What'd you say, Angel?
I said, Joe, you're like a free spirit, bro. You just
you
just anywhere and everywhere. He's like, like listen. All right,
I'm going to Comic-Con next week.
Listen. I'm gonna start the
and I'm dressing up.
Listen, I'm gonna start the raunchiness, bro. Like someone will give Joe cow ass. Something like, all right, I'll try it. And he'll just eat some ass. And he's just there. That's the guy he is.
I don't even know how to answer that. I don't even know how to answer.
Yeah, I know. What in the world?
I mean, I've had cow tongue before. It's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad. Depending on how you make it.
Yeah.
You can saute that. Actually, I've had bison tongue. You
gotta be open to new things, man. I mean, you don't know.
I'm with Angel on that. No. I'm not a ghoul.
I'm not
eating organs. I'm not even eating meat. I still haven't had meat.
Let me tell you guys something. Especially in like a Spanish household, I'm like really big. Like you know how they do like the pig roast. Mm-hmm. If I see it, I go nope, nope.
Yeah, I can't see that either.
Like I'm like, no, I'm done. Like don't even. Like, that's our culture, and I'm like,
I don't eat that. I don't eat pork.
No. That's where it stops for me.
Who's next, Gene?
Angel.
Why can't we always switch the order? Like,
who cares?
Go ahead, Gene.
I'm the host. I'm last. I go last. So that's not changing.
On you. He pulled rank on you.
Honestly, man, nothing really changed. Just I'm just happy I didn't have work today, but that's really all I care about. I literally had to relax and like sleep, which I was happy about. Just training, running 2 schools, that's really it. Like,
how's that going, Angel?
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's crazy, it's a lot, but I mean, it's going well so far. I mean, we have a good number of students for us opening up in September and for us just getting started. But it's like anything else, man. It just takes time. It just builds little by little.
How far is it from your other school? Like how far?
About 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not bad. The best way I tell people is like my school is more urban, so it's like more in the city. My first school, and then the second school is more like in the countryside, like in like the valley. So, but it's actually crazy, man. My students in Stratford, so my students at the first school, sometimes will like go. I'll make like day where like they all got to go to the second school to go train, so they can train with like both sets of kids. And my students at my first school, they never want to go back to the dojo. They want to stay at the other one. When I tell them, like, all right, we're going to Stratford, they're like, I'm like, don't start. Just don't start with all that. Stop. But yeah, that's really been it, man. Just chill. I had a student, one of my students from the second dojo, he actually did his first tournament. Like he started it for a couple months, and we just had him do his form at a tournament. And he ended up placing third, so he was all excited. And Man,
That's great.
I haven't seen someone smile that hard. Like when I tell you it was 8:30 a.m., him just walking in, he had the biggest smile. Like he walked in like, oh my God, what is it? What is going on here? Like he had the biggest smile the whole day. So I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool, man. Like I almost forget what it was like to be like that. Like you take it for granted. So that was kind of cool. But outside of that, man, yeah, just nothing really, just chilling.
All right. What's up, Jeff?
What's up?
It's been a minute. I haven't talked to you in a minute.
I know. It's been a while. It's been a while. Things have been wild, man. Kind of crazy. Every weekend, it's like I'm going somewhere.
I was going to ask you that if every weekend you are at a tournament.
Somewhat. I wasn't at a tournament this weekend, but I was at a training. So I was at the AAU National Taekwondo team, Force team, training camp, and I was also asked to coach for that. So I was there coaching like 64 of the top Taekwondo forms competitors. So that was really cool. A lot of driving back and forth to Ohio and stuff. It was a different experience because it's outside of my comfort zone. I don't really know many of those people. So it was cool to me to get that respect from something that I'm still kind of new at, you know.
You drove there, Jeff?
Yeah, it was like 7 hours.
Yeah, I was about to say, because when we drove to Anthony Price's tournament, when me, Sean, and Gina, when we drove there in like April, that was like 7 hours. So I was gonna be like, damn, man, like was that closer or was it about the same?
Yeah, it's 7. So we drove Friday, and then did the whole camp from 12 till 7.
Yep.
And then had, a coach's dinner and stuff. Learned a little bit about what's going on in that whole realm. It's not something I'm used to. Shelly went with me, and so she's sitting there like, I don't know what all these letters mean. I don't know what's going on. She's like, I know the NBL and I know NASCA. That's really it, I know stuff. It's like so yeah, so that was different. It was really cool. But I got home that night, like Sunday night, 10 p.m., and the whole house just smelled like cat. And I guess when one of the cats got stuck in one of our rooms, and we couldn't figure out where the smell was coming from, so we had to just tough it out and sleep. And I kept waking up every hour because it was so bad.
Oh my God!
Ended up being in poop in my Revolution bag, so that got thrown out.
Lovely.
So yeah, and then the next day, my son on the way to work runs out of gas, so I have to go get him and bring him back before classes start at like 11:15. And there's like a line at the dojo, and people are texting like, "Where are you guys at? What's going on?" And like we both were like super early all the time, so that happened. Then after that, we have no water at the house for like a day and a half. It's just been the weirdest thing, man. It's been a lot. And the other thing that's really cool right now is we're doing a lot of our youngest son, Sean, he's doing a lot of college recruiting for soccer. So he's having to go, like we were in Philly 2 weeks ago for like a college ID camp where they go and do a camp and just do stuff for 3 hours. And there's about 4 or 5 different coaches scouting and watching them. And then they'll send them the video and talk to them and say, this is what we want. So that's been what's been going on the past couple of weeks. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, you know what though? That's cool. And then Wesley was the car that broke? Yeah, my man.
Yeah. Jeff, when was the last time you had a weekend that wasn't martial arts related? You didn't have anything to do, no tournament, no seminars, no training, nothing.
Christmas. No, actually last Christmas he actually had the team training, so actually I'm wrong.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. That was what we were talking about the other day. So because like this weekend is at our school is belt testing, but it's also our holiday sale. So we go ahead and do our Christmas sale like now. So that way everybody gets all their stuff done early. And actually a lot of the weapons companies now, they can't guarantee you to get any of their stuff by Christmas unless you order by like the 12th. Like that's how bad it is right now. So, my goal this weekend is make a good amount of money because we do a lot of big specials and stuff on tuition and paid in fulls and things like that, but also private lessons. I sell a lot of private lessons during this time. And then, just fun clothing and things like that we do. So yeah, it's busy, man.
Okay. Angel, I got a message for you
Oh,
from Melissa. She told me to tell you that it's just getting started.
Oh,
If
shit.
it's this is the beginning,
Oh,
man.
oh, I have a good
This
one. I have a good one for you
this
guys.
is
Oh,
the
I have a good
beginning
one.
for you.
I have a good one for you guys. So I'm at the tournament on Sunday, right? I'm at the tournament. I gotta even see if I can find the message. So that way you guys can know my honest response in the moment, right? I'm at the tournament on Sunday, and yep, here it goes. And she goes, random question. I said, what's up? She goes, what's your blood type? So now I'm at the tournament, and I go, huh? I don't
you're
know.
like, I don't even know.
I said, I don't know why. She goes, trying to figure out if we're RH compatible.
Oh
So
Lord,
my exact response says, we are compatible. I already put a ring on it.
that's right.
That's my exact response. And she goes, no,
Good
you
answer.
idiot. She goes, no, you idiot. That's not what I mean. I'm blood type B plus, so we need to have the same blood type. And I go, well, why are you looking this up? Because when we have a family, we're about to get married. And I literally put a response. I said, this is a lot for me to take in. So I'm gonna just let you know now. I agree with you. And then I just
Okay.
left it there. And
But you
she
can't do
goes,
it like that. You
and she
can't
goes,
do it
this is what
like
she
that.
said. She goes, that doesn't even make fucking sense. That's how I know you're not listening. And I go, what? I was like, I'm just saying, I agree with you. And she goes, you're not even listening. She goes, I don't even know why I'm even asking. I'm just gonna ask
Yeah,
her.
that
I was
answer
like,
wasn't required
so
for
then when
what
she
she was
said,
saying.
I shouldn't have even asked her. I should have just asked your mom. I got this close, Gene, to saying, why didn't you just start there in the first place? I always got that close. And then I was like, shut the fuck up, right? That's what
Yeah,
she said. Shut the
that's
fuck
what
up.
you got to do, man.
So I said, all right, whatever you say, babe. And I just left it alone. Left it alone. I was like,
Man,
say, babe. Done and over with. Then she asked me right after that, do you want to do a Sunday wedding or a weekday wedding? Because Saturday's expensive. Literally put down. I said, whatever you think is best. She goes, I'm asking for your opinion. I said, I prefer a Saturday, but if whatever's gonna help our bank account, I'm all for it.
I'm gonna
Done.
tell you.
Boom.
I'm gonna tell you. Saturday's the most expensive.
That's what everyone
Then
says.
Friday, Sunday's the cheapest.
They say
yeah.
Sunday, so or Wednesday or something, or Tuesday, Wednesday or something like that.
It's a
I
weird day to have
never
a
gave
wedding.
that any type
It
of
It's a
is.
weird
consideration.
day. That's why, because
Weird
when
day
they
to have a
said it
wedding.
to me, I said that's weird, and they're like, that's why it's so cheap. I said, all right, cool, whatever. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I meant to tell you that. But yeah, so Melissa said that. Yeah, I already. When she said, "What's your blood type?" I said, "Oh, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Hey, I mean, you guys all, did this a lot better than I have, so it's okay. All right, I'm coming on 3 years of being engaged.
I don't even know how you pulled that off.
Years?
I don't know how you pulled that off, Jeff.
No, wait, Jeff. It's been 3 years.
Been 3 years, man.
Bro,
What's funny?
I remember when
Yeah.
you proposed, but I didn't know it's been 3 years.
It's been a while. Yeah, we've been together almost 9 years. So
And she ain't stabbed you yet. Shit.
No, listen. When people say it, they blame it on me. All right. Last night, Alex understood because he was like, no, listen. He talked to me and Shelly before the show and was like, okay, listen, we're gonna have your wedding in May next year. It's like, no. We got 2 graduations. Both of our kids. One graduates high school. One graduates college. Can't do that in May. It's too much. Well, then June. Well, no, listen, you're not gonna get it if not. And then Shelly goes, well, what about next May? And he goes, wow. It's like, see, like it's not just me. All right, both of us are like that. Like I'm just, well, we just got a lot going on. Let's just keep putting.
Listen, listen, dude. That's crazy because I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could pull that one off. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Most people can't pull that off. Most people
Nah.
can't pull off the 9 years thing. I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah, well, dude, what was it? I asked her to marry me, and then I started competing again.
Yeah, that wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Jeff, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. You push boundaries, bro. But I give it to you. You are not afraid to try. So I respect that part of it. Hey, man, listen. The only thing we need now is we just need, the El Presidente, the director, to go ahead and get that ring, and then we all locked in, man.
No.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that.
You never know. Maybe he'll say, I may come back to compete one more time. You never know. Who knows?
I highly doubt that. I highly doubt Travis be out there
Hey,
again.
let me tell you something. I actually got this. I actually want the next time I see Avery at Chicago, I actually want to convince Avery into thinking that his last tournament needs to be a Plowden team fight. So that way Gene and Trav come back and they do one fight, a Plowden team fight.
That'll be it. But man, I mean, time ticking. Like I'm knocking on 50. So if I'm knocking on 50, just think about my uncle's age. So time is ticking.
This works out great. So when you get 50, then see they have the senior fighting division and it's 30, 40, 50. I think they changed it up a little bit.
It's still, 30 and
240. 40. Yeah.
So you could go.
You guys could do it. That would be sick. You guys
can rock.
Go and beat ATL, man.
Literally do a senior team fight. That's it.
Yeah.
And let your uncle coach.
And time out. You know who you get to whoop up on? You get to whoop up on Jamon.
Wait, it actually be Jamon Willie, because Willie will fight the 30, Jamon fights the 40. And then Willie Marshall. Willie Marshall's a bad man, Gene. You don't want no problems with Willie Marshall now.
Man, come on now. I have not fought since Mike said 2000 was the last time I fought. I thought last time I fought was 98. That's been
well, 2 years. He was giving you a couple extra years.
Yeah, he was like, no. We went to Dunlap tournament. We went to Chicago, and this one. I was like, and I'm gonna believe Mike because Mike keeps track of that stuff, and I'll believe him.
I need to see that again too.
My weekend was cool, man. We just we went out and did some shopping, man. That was pretty much it. We just started our Christmas shopping. We got that going. And then I guess Mel, she was looking at some stuff for decorating the house, so that was pretty much it, man. And then Sunday I picked up Champ. He was like, let's go to the karate school, getting him out there because he like I said, he wants to start competing next year. So
he does.
Yeah, he's gonna start. He's a purple belt. So he wants to start fighting, and I told him I'm gonna wait till March. I'm gonna let him do the Kibalon tournament in March. That's an all kids tournament. Yeah. So that'll be his first one, and then he'll start doing some MSKC. I think the next tournament after that is Dan Cousineau's.
Yeah, I was about to say, right? Yeah. That's his. It's crazy hearing you guys talk about it so much. I usually know like the MSKC circuit, so
he's not gonna be ready for the Gorham's tournament, Arctic Challenge. He's not gonna be ready for Arctic Challenge. So I just figured from now to March, getting him ready, getting him to get some rounds in, getting his conditioning up, because he's never competed before. So this will be his first time.
He's never competed ever, not even when he was okay, I thought he did.
No, he never competed before, so this will be his first time. So we'll see. What's crazy, when I was training him Sunday, he reminds me a lot of Avery. When I remember how Avery trained when he was a little boy like that, when he was like 11 years old, and he reminds me of a lot of Avery. And I'm like, man, it's just something about genetics.
What do you mean? Like I don't
just the way he throws his techniques and how he stands. Like I remember looking at Avery as a kid and training him. And going over the bases, doing his stretch kicks and his front snap kick and roundhouse kicks, and learning how to do the reverse punch and all of that stuff. I remember how his mannerisms were and how he trained. And Champ just reminds me a lot of him. Just like when I see Avery, like the way Avery moves when he fights. Well, the way he used to move when he was fighting, he kind of reminded me of Trav a little bit. It's a little bit different now. But yeah, man, genetics is something else, man. For real.
Will you bring him to the Friday nights eventually, or is that too high? Or like how does that work?
At my uncle's school?
Yeah, like how does that work? Or no?
So I have classes at the same time, but I'm not but for the most part, I'm not a teacher. I don't know what time they do their sparring. For the kids over there, I have no idea. It might be 6 o'clock, and if it's 6 o'clock, then I'm teaching at the same time. I'm either teaching or boxing class is going on. If boxing is going on, we might be able to slide over there. This is the thing. I have some kids that I do want to take over there. Like I have some teenagers. Teenage girls. I want to take over there because they want to spar a little bit more. And I've been thinking about taking them over there. But if I do that, they're probably going to miss jiu-jitsu that Friday. Because boxing and jiu-jitsu, I have them on Fridays. So I don't know. It just kind of depends.
Okay.
It just kind of depends. But I do have a question today for us.
Okay.
I actually meant to ask you guys this last week, and we got off
We got way off. That was my fault. That was my fault.
But
I was listening. Yeah.
So Jeff, I have a question for you and Angel and Joe too. All of us. But what do you guys think is the ideal amount of white belts to have in one class together? So your intro class, your beginning class, because sometimes you don't want to have too many kids at one time. You know, you could be overwhelmed, especially if you're the only instructor. But I'm assuming, Jeff, you probably have more than one person helping you.
Jeff,
right?
Now I do. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff has a lot.
So what do you guys think? So in my opinion, I know I can handle 20 kids by myself. Now, that kind of depends on the age of all of the white belts. If I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds, I can teach 20 of them easy.
Yep.
But it's never that smooth. You will have a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old in that class, and that kind of makes things a little bit of a challenge. So if I have help, I think I could do 20 with a 5 or 6-year-old or a couple 5 or 6-year-olds. But what do you guys think?
That sounds about right. So this is just for me, and I'm not saying I hit these numbers, but what I want to have and what my instructor always coaches me on is you need to have 10 appointments a day. If you have 10 appointments a day, probably half of those will show up. And, you have that. You want to get at least 20 new students a month is really where you want to be at, because here's the deal. If you're getting that many, you're probably losing 5, right? Or whatnot. That's just, now we don't want to lose that many, but that's just kind of the idea, right? Of trying to get that many. You can get more than that. But if you have that mindset of always getting new students, then yeah, you need to have an idea of having like 20 in there. I know I did 20 little dragons. So like 3 to 5-year-olds by myself for a while. And that was torture. And that's why I always say I retired from that.
I don't understand how anybody has those little kids class, not that young.
The problem is, what's bad is that since I retired from that, the little dragons class never recovered. I always put other people, probably the best it was after was when my daughter started doing it, because they really related to her, but the numbers still were never the same. I would have 20 and I would have her maybe helping me or whatnot, and I just knew how to do it, right? But I also, when I opened my karate school, I went to about 5 different daycares to kind of get started, and I would teach 2 to 3-year-olds, and some of these places would not give me a helper. So I'm I have 30 freaking 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, run around what in the world? And that was where I got burned out of that age group too, because kids would pee on my pads and stuff like that, and I'm having what do I do now? All right, class is over, and we're all going to your class. That's it. But yeah, I think if you can command and make it fun, I think you can run as many as you want. Think about it. I probably ran a seminar with 60 people before. You know what I mean? I know it's a little different but again, you don't have to make it super hard. If you have that many white belts, all they care about is doing some stuff together, yelling really loud, teaching some kicks and punches. If you punch the pad a few times, they love that,
What do you think, Angel?
20 was the number I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was gonna say the same exact word. As soon as you said, I was probably 20, right? And I will say the age makes a difference, makes a huge difference, because it all depends. If you got those 3 to 5-year-olds or little dragons class, it's more about can you stay in the ring for 5 minutes? Can you hold attention? You know what I mean? Some of that stuff. When it's the 8 to 11-year-old group or whatever, they want to they're more they like to roughhouse. So it's you got to make it more athletic based, because they want to jump high and be strong and all that stuff. I don't know, man. I think also the other thing that plays into it is also kind of what Jeff was saying, man. If you need, sometimes you do need a helper though. So the worst thing for me is when I'm at my school now. So like, especially now when I'm at like our first location, and my assistant instructor doesn't come, and then I got no one working my desk. That's like the worst because like my mom tries to come in when she can, but like my mom has my nephew, my brother's son. So like and then he just had another baby. So it's like we're trying to do 1,000 things all at once. So when they're not there, like I'm like the secretary, I'm the person that's gonna talk. I'm getting leads. I'm teaching the class. It's a lot,
and it's a lot on your brain.
Yeah,
and that's what really affects you is that it's like you're stressed. Oh, did someone talk to them? Someone talk to them?
That's
oh
the
crap!
thing.
And in your mind, I just lost opportunity to, at money
to close
really
it. You just lost
the deal, to upgrade someone, things like that. Maybe they're gonna leave.
And that's the tough part. And the tough part is like that plays in your mind. And then Jeff kind of said it best, man. Then you burn out. You will you will burn out. Like, dude, I'll tell you, man. Like I'll be honest, man. My Tuesdays and Thursdays sometimes are like my harder days. My Tuesdays and Thursdays sometimes are like my harder days, and it's like. Me especially, like I feel like the one thing I notice, especially now, is us having two schools. Like I feel like regardless if anyone wants to say it, like in our family, we're all burnt out. Like by the end of the week, like by the time Friday hits, we don't have a class on Friday because we're open 4 days a week, and then we have Saturday we're open. So like that Friday, the reason why we stopped doing Friday was because we would be open and we would only have like 2 kids per class.
That is the thing.
Yeah, and the numbers didn't match the reason for being open because the utility was costing more than the kids that were there. So it was like at that point, there's no point us even being open. So we're not open on a Friday. You could tell everyone kind of like is like all right, it's Friday. Like we all kind of like, all right, we get our Friday here. You know what I mean? So and it's just like I said, man. I think like Jeff said it right. Like if you don't have a help, and then if you don't know how to manage the class, that will burn you out super quick. Because Jeff, during COVID, I did daycare. My brother still does daycare, but during COVID, I wasn't at work all the time, so I was able to go do daycare on like one day on Wednesdays, and then he was able to work more. But now he's doing daycares again, and I'm working. I can't do daycare, but like daycare was like, kind of like what you said. Like sometimes it would be like it could be a bit much depending because, I had like a 2-year-old group. Yeah. And I had a 2-year-old group. And let me tell you something. My brother told me, I thought it was the craziest thing, but he was right. I had to wear like crazy dress socks every time I went.
Yep.
Because they wanted to see like my dress size. If I wore Ninja Turtles, the place would go nuts. Like going crazy.
But it's funny because there's little things like that'll make a difference, man.
You don't understand. Like my brother was like, you gotta, wear your shirt, wear your uniform, right? You gotta wear dress socks. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you gotta wear. I was like, I can't wear like no Nike socks. He's like, no, put on some crazy dress socks. I don't care what they are. Have squiggles. Yeah. You gotta have an alligator. Just put it on. And I was like, okay. And I wore them. Then I wore like the Ninja Turtles, but it would just be Michelangelo with his eyes. All the kids would do this. And like they Michelangelo. But it's just little things like, Jeff.
The hard part. Yeah, I was just saying the hard part about that is like you're like selling to 2-year-olds who are not, their parents aren't there to see it. They're not going to remember to tell their mom what they did or how was karate. Like, oh yeah, it was good. I don't know. By that time, they forgot what they did. That was the hardest part.
Yeah, that is, and I think I could be wrong on my numbers here, but like I think like from the daycare system, we've had like a few people feed into our school, but it's not it doesn't guarantee. Right? It's not like a guarantee, exactly. And it's like you said it right there, Jeff. Like that's the perfect way to say it. We're selling to 2-year-olds that they are still wearing Pampers. It's like tough to sell.
Yeah.
Somebody that's
they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, like they don't.
What about you, Joe? What's your limit?
I mean, 20 seems like quite a bit. I'm gonna tell you one thing. 20, if I'm doing 20 and it's just me, I'm figuring out a way to keep everyone's attention. I'm probably gonna like break them into boys versus girls or something to make them, break their attention, but also keep it on me because now they're competing against each other. You know what I'm saying? So now it makes my job a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you're just doing something monotonous with 20 kids all by yourself, they're just gonna be like, You're gonna have this one over here and this one over there. But if you got them competing, now they're counting on each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way I would do it. That's how I used to do. But I mean, I always liked. To me, I liked a good ratio of like 10 kids per one instructor. But you don't have that luxury all the time. So 20 you can make work. You just gotta figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, that's pretty much, when I'm really promoting and marketing, I know I can get 20. I know I can get 20 kids in the white belt class. But I don't want more. So then that's when I pull back on my marketing and I let them graduate to the gold and purple belt class before I really start up the marketing again. Um, so I also I don't take on any new kids in October. I just refuse. When people call, I say, the next orientation is in November. And the reason I do that is because most of the people, I would say 98% of my people that come in from Groupon. I don't really get walk-ins. So since most people come in through Groupon and they have an option either getting a 1-month Groupon or the 2-month, most people get the 2-month Groupon. So if they come in October, that means that they're going to end up ending in December.
And that's the slowest.
They're not going to come back.
No, not about that. People are already spending money on gifts.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing they're going to want to do is spend money on a karate lesson.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, but January comes around. But those people, what I noticed, those people don't come back in January.
Exactly.
So November. So now I'm starting them back up again. I'm about to put some more promotion and marketing out, and I'll know, they'll be around until January, and then I'll also get another new rush of people because I think people buy these Groupons for their family members during the holiday season because I always get a rush of kids in January also. So. But now I'm at the point now where I have, a couple of my junior black belts that are around that are helping. And, Melissa, she comes up and she helps now. So she's learning the office stuff. So she comes up on Mondays and Wednesdays to help out with that. And I told Braylon and DJ that eventually they're both purple belts. Those are my kids. They eventually are going to have to help me teach. I'm looking at them by this summer, they're going to be green belts. So I'm going to put them with some of the black belts that I have so they can start learning how to be instructors themselves. And, then I can put them kids to work too.
Biggest thing is training your assistants. I mean, you got to train them.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
If not, you can't just be like,
no.
Like, no. I don't know what to do. Like, yeah, you got to train them.
Yeah. My kids, that's one of the things that my uncle trained us to do. So we always, when kids are red belts, we bring them into the system and teach them how to be teachers. And they'll have a day where they kind of shadow us and we'll teach, we'll take a kid and say, Ryan, go teach these kids how to do the 4 blocks, the 4 basic blocks: low block, inside to outside, middle block, outside to inside, middle block, high block, whatever. And then he's getting used to doing that. Or we have them lead the kids in stretching and stuff like that. So they're getting used to giving instructions and having the kids follow them along. So, all right. That's enough of that. Let's get into the show. Episode 10, Warrior. And we're gonna do the recap. Take it away, Joe.
Sure. So this one, not a whole lot of action, but we got a lot of leading into season 2. But we found out a few more things.
That was surprising, though. It was surprising because most season finales don't end like this. There's normally a lot of
most seasons would have ended the way last week ended.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. But I think season 2 is pretty big for this show. There's a lot that, from season 1 that kind of boils over and a lot more story being told. And they don't just focus on the 2 Tongs. They focus on a lot of different characters and they bring in some new characters. So that's what they're trying to set up here. Mm-hmm. And literally the last episode, we saw Assam almost dead from the fight. Mm-hmm. And he was, Atoy brought him to the brothel, and we don't know what really happened to him after that. And they show him, and this couldn't have been the next day because he was still a little beat up, but he's a little more healed. So this, to me, seemed like it was a few weeks later.
Well, probably. I'm assuming it was 1 week because we saw Lee get jumped pretty much that same night. And
you're right.
We find out that Lee, when he wakes up, Bill tells him it's been a week.
There you go.
I'm assuming it's like a week later.
Yeah.
So this starts off, and you got Assam, he's working for what's his face, working on the railroad for
Yeah.
it's not the mayor, because the mayor's married to
Yeah,
that
it's
guy's daughter.
Well,
it's the daughter's dad.
well, eventually he gets there, but like
Oh, that's right.
really,
That's right. You're right.
it's
Yeah.
just kind of showing you like what these lives are of a coolie is what they call them. Of like
Yeah,
you get up, your shift's going, you go out there. Hopefully, you got a job. If not, you go back.
exactly.
Or you walk around until because someone has your bed, and they ain't getting up until you come and the shift's over and you switch. Like 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock. It may be five
Yeah,
o'clock.
they're waiting to see if they get work for the day. If
Yeah.
they show up and say we need 20 and you get picked, you get to work. If not, try again tomorrow.
You know what I was thinking when this episode started? I was thinking like, why is Assam doing this shit? I would have got on the boat and took my ass back across the salt back to China. I'm not dealing with this.
Well, at this point, he don't really have that much money now because
No,
he got kicked
I would
out
have
of the
I would have
town.
went to my sister. I would have went to her and said, "Hey, okay, fine. You don't want me here. I'm leaving. I'm gonna leave you alone. If you want to
Yeah.
deal with this shit by yourself, if you want to deal with them, this gang stuff, go ahead.
But he burned that bridge because she already
Nah,
did that
I'm
to
gonna go
get
back
taken
and
with her.
beg. I ain't never
But-
got to see your ass again, sis. You're probably gonna be dead anyway.
Right.
So give me some money so I can get back home, and then
The thing
enjoy
is,
the
he's
rest of your life."
branded now. He's branded now. So even when he goes back home, he's a member of a tong over there.
Mm.
And then they obviously report back and forth to each other, especially when you get into this later on
Oh
about
wow.
where they get their
'Cause, yeah, that's where the
drugs
opium's
from.
coming from.
Yeah, that's where the opiums come from. So if he goes over there, then they're gonna have a hit out on him, or it's just he's screwed either way. He can't go back over the
I didn't even
salt.
think about that, but that makes sense.
Wow, that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
So just like I said, Lee got beat up, and Lee getting beat up was basically a message to Bill, because that's what the tile was. That's the Feng Hai,
Uh-huh.
and the problem is now you pissed Bill off to the point where he's sending all his guys after you because he knows what that means. So now he's raiding what he thinks is the Feng Hai's business, but really it's Ming Li's business for
Yeah,
the Long Z. So now she's getting pissed off, and she actually confronts the leader of the Feng Hai, and he basically tells her, "We're not partners. I'm running my business, you're running yours, and when it's convenient for us, we'll work together." Which of course doesn't make her happy.
I think she also meets with the shady guy, the shady politician guy.
The Hopway Father June.
No. Oh, well, that's in there too when they show the map, right? They
Yeah.
get all that. But I'm talking about the lieutenant governor or mayor or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, what exactly is Brimley or something? What is his actual job?
I think
because he's supposed to be working for the mayor, but he doesn't seem on the same page as the mayor.
Yeah, I mean he's actually working
Buckley.
Yeah, Buckley. He's actually working for the governor too, right? And
the one that wants to be president.
Right. They're all, just trying to create headlines. That's all it is, and this dude, to me, he's the most villainous person in this show. To me, he's the ultimate bad guy. And then guess what? They flip it later on as well. So this show's nuts because everyone that you think is the bad guy, in some way, they show you a good side of them. Like,
yeah,
that's how everybody is in real life, though, right?
Right. Exactly. It's all perspective,
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool. That's why I like the storytelling of it.
What do you think, Angel?
I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I kept seeing this whole entire show, and I actually would skip over it because I thought it had more. I thought it had more storytelling than any action. I just thought it just was trying to take place in a certain time frame, right? But I think just off of just watching the show in its entirety, I actually think it's one of our better shows that we've watched, and I actually think the choreography has been some of the best choreography we've seen.
The fight scenes.
Yeah.
Like their fight scenes are ridiculous. One thing I do like, and you guys kind of said in the beginning, like, you know, that this one there wasn't too much action, but what I think I do like about this series and how it sets up for season 2 was that it actually kind of like goes over important storylines that are gonna set up the future, which I like. I like that. I like when like how many times do we all say, even like with Jeff, like he'll text us right like the next day where we're just like they leave so many holes or so many plots. Like there's always like that missing thing that we never give it an A for because the storyline didn't match up, or there's a plot line that it has a hole in it. So I kind of actually like this part of it, and I actually like the fact that it takes the time out to like set the groundwork for the next season.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's great. And they do set up a lot, and there's going to be plenty more fight scenes. So
yeah, and their fight, like I said, their choreography, no joke. I'm not even joking. Like I think, like hands down, like one of the best, if not the best, like that we've seen, like in all of the movies that we watched. Like this choreography is like really top notch, like really, really top notch.
Yeah, and this show, this actual ending, even though it may not have been a long fight scene, it's a fight scene that's probably one of the most important ones, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we could probably talk about at the end of it of like who we think are actually like who are the actual like rivals that we want to see, you know, like
there's a lot, man. There's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot. Well, you know, Leary finds out about the from his people not getting work because, you know, they're giving it to the Asians and the what'd you call them, coolies?
Yeah, coolies is what they're called. That's the term they start using. Yeah.
And he goes to confront Elizabeth's father, and of course he's like he's between a rock and a hard place. He's now at the point where he's not even trying to make money. He's just going to break even.
Right.
And he's got, you know, costs. He's got labor costs. You know, he's doing his best thanks to Buckley. And you think Leary would hear this and go after Buckley, but he doesn't really, because when he does talk to Buckley, Buckley's real slippery.
Mm-hmm.
And Buckley knows how to talk his way out of the problem. And he's really not scared of Leary, even though he should be.
Well, he threw up. Did you see him throw up though? Like, he talked a good game, and then after he was like, "Oh,"
but he waited till after he walked away. At least.
I mean that was great, but you see that, you know, I don't like that guy.
Well,
but what does Buckley do? Like he's taking care of all of his people, and I know that he was a soldier, but like right now, like he doesn't seem like he's not concerned about himself working. You know, he didn't look for a job for himself. He did it for his people. So what? And when we see him in a bar, we never see him pay for anything, really. You know, he gets stuff.
It's his bar. It's his bar, though.
Oh, that's his bar. Okay.
Yeah, it's his bar. He owns that bar.
Okay, I didn't know that. I just thought he was just hanging out.
Yeah, but don't. Oh wait, I think that's the next one. But I believe he collects dues in some way.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like the beginnings of like, unions and stuff, right? It's kind of what they have, but you got this guy who's pretty much asking you to give money so that way he can buy something to blow up, you know, places or do whatever, or go and get people to go and like beat up all the coolies, which we're gonna see in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, Bill is giving his own little speech to Lee about waking up and everything. He's not even going home. Like he's been staying at the hospital, waiting for Lee to wake up. His wife's kind of concerned about him. And then, like I said, he's sending his own people out, going after everything. And he's messing up business, the brand new business that Mai Ling just brought in. And so that's why she gets really pissed off. But the Feng Hai upgraded their army. They got a whole new army. So she kind of had to back down for a minute because, I mean, what are you going to do? And they're saying, we're going to run our stuff our way. You're going to run yours your way. And now she's got to reassess her whole idea of what to do because, you know, she thought she had control over them and that they were real small, but he kind of flexed his muscles a little bit. Hassan does get picked on a job. Before that, he's visited by Father June, which I thought was kind of weird because Father June's the reason he's there.
I mean,
to
Young
begin
June.
with.
No, it was Young June.
Yeah, it was Young
I
June.
thought Father June.
That's later on.
Oh, I thought Father June visited him first.
No, that's in the
I didn't
season.
even see.
That's
him with
episode
Father
1
June.
of season 2.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Young June. I could have swore I seen Father June just kind of tell him something, but Young June came by and was trying to get him back, which I don't know how he would have convinced his father. He made it sound like his father was losing his mind or something.
He did make it sound like that, and you know, I mean, he was probably upset about what was going on with Long Z. You know, he's not really worried about. He needs more fighters. He can't really afford to have him be away.
It's really easy to understand where Assam's coming from because Assam really stepped out on the line to fight a fight that really, you know, wasn't in his best interest.
Right.
And he could have easily died. And then to get tossed aside because you didn't win the fight,
Right.
you know, I mean, I'd be pissed off too. And it's hard because Young June feels more hurt by Assam, but I'm like, dude, I realize there's rules that he keeps saying, but you should have tried harder to keep Assam. Like, you know, you got to step to your dad. Step to your dad.
Now he is. Now he is, but he's even using a toy, you know, is worried about you. Oh, okay, really? Is she really? Or do you want me back, you know?
Yeah, the Atoy Assam thing goes back and forth a little bit until it doesn't.
That's strange to me. That's very strange.
I kind of, as it grows, it's kind of interesting how that relationship evolves. But one thing though that all right, so again, I didn't see this until I watched it back. You know, like after he talks to Young June, you know, he sees Chow and he's like, okay, where's this job? And so really, he was like, he just paused and looked at him. And so that was the job, was him going back with the Feng Hai. I mean, sorry, with the Hopway.
Long Z.
Yeah, with the
Hopway.
Sorry, Hopway.
Because he's the one that set that up to show him where he was. And a lot
I
of
thought
times,
that's what was going on.
Yeah, and so he's like, you're
makes
not a
sense.
freaking coolie, you know? And he's like, all right, here's this job if you want it, right? But you're not I think at this point, was this when he did the lawyer conversation, which was really cool. It's one of my favorite quotes of it, where he talked about how he was a slave and everyone else is still there in that ship because they, you know,
they're in Cuba, right? Was it Cuba or Haiti?
I know I wasn't a freaking slave, right? Yeah, and that was pretty cool. He's like, you're a warrior, you lose, you get up, dust it off, you go back, be a warrior, you know. So that was pretty neat. And then he just still is stubborn because he just feels like, you know what? I'm just a Chinaman. I'm just John Chinaman. I'm gonna go be with the normal people and be a coolie. But
it's just him being stubborn like always.
Yeah.
And Cho has a little bit of reason because I mean he was the reason that Assam ended up with the Hopway to begin with.
Right.
Because he saw the potential there. So I mean, it's kind of like his own investment in a sense. I don't know if Assam was good for business or not, because they probably were selling a lot more weapons to take out Assam, because they really stepped up their game when they got him. Like I said, when Assam ends up working for the father, he does run into Emily. She's happy that he's alive. She's trying to promote him to a better position because he can speak English, but this is a guy that's too proud. He doesn't too proud for his own good. He should have went back with young June. He should have taken this promotion, but he's like, no, I'm stubborn. I'm gonna make my own way. I don't need no handouts. Okay.
That didn't seem like much of a life. It didn't seem like much of like you're gonna do that hard labor until you die, and that was it.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, fast forward, he made a friend that he was kind of taking care of, and the guy got hurt doing this job, and he ended up dying. So he's already feeling for that. So now he's a little pissed off, and I mean, technically he kind of took the guy's spot. So, I mean, he's probably torn both ways, but more or less, it's not good. And then, I mean, basically the two things at the end of this, Leary forces his way to the job with about, how many people did he have? 3 or 4?
Oh, I
Probably
think
more
it was a
than
little
that.
bit more than that. I think it might
About
maybe
10.
about 6 or 7, maybe 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 6 or 7 guys, and they start, tearing the place up, beating guys up, and smashing hands.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we get to see Assam and Leary really interact together, but we didn't
Yeah.
get that big fight that we wanted.
No,
They
Leary was
started to get
watching.
ready.
Yeah.
Leary
Yeah.
was watching him beat up his crew, and I
Yeah.
think he kind of liked that. Like, oh wow, now I get to really, show myself.
Yeah,
I
but
get to
they
finish
squared
out.
up. They squared up, and then the police, you heard the sirens, and he
They
said,
had a
"I'll
little
be
bit.
back."
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
he
had a little
said-
bit of squabble. They had about
Yeah.
10 strikes. It was cool. It was a big precursor to, okay, we got to see this again,
Mhm.
But the craziest thing, did you already say that her father has a freaking heart attack?
Yeah,
while
I
this
saw
is
that.
going
Yeah,
on?
he was in the office.
Yeah, as he was getting a gun to
Yeah.
take care of things.
Yeah. So
And-
it's wild, man. But I mean, there's some graphic stuff in the show, man. Like it just
Oh yeah, definitely.
it's wild and it's intense. So like this, I think, is what really turns Assam to be like, you know what? Like I need to defend these people. It gives him a whole nother, realm for this, a whole nother purpose. Because at first, remember what why I lose her name. The lady said to her, like, he
Emily?
won because he talking about the guy that he fought in where he almost died. He said he had
Oh.
something to fight for. You didn't have anything to fight for.
Oh,
And
you're
now,
talking about a toy.
yeah, a toy said that, and so now he's
Yeah.
realizing this is what I'm fighting for. I'm going to fight for my people, for everyone that's abusing these, the Chinamen, the Chinese, the coolies. I'm going to do something. That really is when he changes, and that kind of spawns the end of the show. What did you guys think about that part? I mean, of course we had the fight, but also like him showing up again with the hop way.
It was kind of weird to me, honestly, because how they did. I mean, everything that they did in this show seemed, I don't know, it seemed kind of rushed to put him with them at the end like that. Because I really didn't know what he was going to do. I was kind of surprised that they showed him at the end walking with the hopway. But I mean, it was cool. It was cool to see
No,
him.
Jeff said, he realized that's his way to fight back.
Exactly.
That's how he's gonna
get some shady
show them who he is, and that's the only way he's gonna be able to fight for his people. Because the other two things that we saw again, Atoy is training her little protege, and she's getting better. And he brought 2 of the guys that showed up with Leary for Atoy. He didn't do it for himself. He told her what happened because that's her thing. She's
when did
fighting
he find
just
out?
like him.
When did he find out she was a vigilante?
He's kind of new.
A few episodes. I think he had an idea.
I missed that. I don't remember him knowing that she was out there.
I don't know that there was a aha moment. He knew.
I think it was in the first or second one where she was like,
"I want her come back." Yeah, she came back with blood
and or something like that. When they were still kind of sleeping together.
Okay.
And now it's more like a brotherly, sisterly thing, I guess. I don't really know. It's kind of weird. Oh, the other thing is now
partners in crime.
Yeah. Now, dang it, who's the cop? He is he's working for the Feng Hai and pretty much doing the same thing that the guy he killed, is doing. That's how this episode ends, is him being forced to do that, right?
Yeah, he's the muscle for the Feng Hai. But he owes them so much, he really had no choice.
Right. But the thing is, when other people find out about that, they're not going to care.
True.
So,
all right. So that's season 1 of Warrior. What did you guys think overall of the whole season?
I almost watched the first episode of season 2 just to understand the last episode of season 1.
Yeah.
like how you guys are saying, like, what do we think about when he started walking? I was like, I was watching the first episode just so I could like really kind of just because I don't know, I just thought it was weird that he did that. And
Yeah, the ending to me was unexpected. Like I've watched a lot of shows, and they typically don't end like this. This is not like Joe said. Like no, episode 9 normally is the finale,
right?
You know, but I mean, I still enjoyed it. There's only one episode that still is just seems out of place to me, and that was the one when they were, in the wagon and they stop at.
Yeah.
That's the only one to me that I know that you guys, both Jeff and Joe, explained that to me. I just think they wanted to show Young Jun and Assam bonding. I just think they could have done it a better way of doing that, because that just seems like they just came out the blue, had them traveling around with this dead body that they never explained who this guy is or where this gold come from. It just, that episode is just weird. It's not that I did not like it. I still enjoyed the episode, but as far as the overall, season, like it just seems like it's an out of place episode, like a filler episode.
So so pretty much every episode 5 in each season is something like that, where they take them out of their element. It's kind of like an ode to old country westerns, like a Gunsmoke.
That's what I was just gonna say. They do.
Yeah, it's like an ode to that. Like that's what they're doing. They even use the music. Like if you notice, if you're reading the caption, it says spaghetti western music. Like there's a lot of things like that. Even the I think I said before, even one of the guys in that episode was from he was the bad guy in the Cowboys, which was like the last John Wayne movie that killed John Wayne when he was. And so, I mean, for that guy to even be around is crazy, right? But yeah, so there, that episode, and a lot of them too, is just kind of showing you them outside of their own world, and maybe there's a little bit of hope for them to get away, right? Because even in episode 9, remember, he goes back to that. Young Jun says, "Don't you ever wish we would just have stayed there, and things would have been different, But one of the things that I want to ask is okay, so we really thought that the big rivalry was going to be, Assam versus Mai Ling's, boyfriend, eventually, husband, whatever.
Yeah.
And that was at 9, but it kept us for 10 to really show us the real rivalry, which was going to be, and really most of the other episodes, it's Leary and him, it's that. Because to him, the bigger thing is him fighting for the Chinese rights. You know what I mean? That's really what I think he feels like. He kind of tussles with that a little bit. Oh, I'm just a thug. I'm just a gangster. But really, he's realizing that he's also, trying to do something a little bit more. I mean, he has to be reminded that he has a lot of power. But
true.
So it's really cool. I mean, season 2, it's really good. And there's just
great.
And there's just a lot of great things with the show. I don't know. And then the fighting just gets better. Yeah, I don't know, man. The storytelling's kind of crazy.
So what grade are we giving the series? Season 1, what grade?
A.
I'll say A plus.
Yeah, A plus.
Yeah, I'm giving it an A also. I enjoyed it also. Like I said, it was just that one episode that threw me off a little bit, but like I said, I still enjoyed the episode, so it's not like I didn't.
So one of the people that was in the show, Kieran Tamadong played Assam as a child in that episode where they were showing him kind of flashing back. I guess that was episode 9, right?
Yeah.
So he was a high-level martial artist on NASCA for 5-6 years. He won most of the 14, 17, also 13 under traditional grands for a long time. He also competed in the USA and FKF and everything. So he's been there for a while. I think he was also what was the movie we watched? Paper Dragons. Was that it? Yeah. He was one of the young guys in that too.
He was also in Dahmer.
He was also in Dahmer. Yeah,
that's not like martial arts way, but that was like he got really big. Again, right after Dahmer came out, because he was in Dahmer.
Yeah, he did. Then just like with, did y'all watch the new Avatar thing? Was that on here? Y'all do that? Yeah. So Dallas Lewis was on that too.
Yeah, Dallas.
There's a lot of different ones. But honestly, for me, that's the only person I recognize in the whole show was him. I don't really know.
In Dallas or
no, I'm talking about Kieran.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
But, yep.
So what are we watching next week?
What did y'all decide?
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah,
Big Trouble in Little China.
Little China. Let's go.
It's been a while since I've seen that. It's been a long time.
That's one of my favorites. Man.
Yeah.
All right. You guys got anything else?
Nope.
Well, Jeff, thanks for being with us again. Yeah. Hopefully you'll pop in again on us.
Yes, sir. And guys, next week will be the return of Extra Scoop, and we're gonna have Peyton and I will have a special guest, Haley Glass, who has done stunts in a lot of movies.
You know what? Since you brought that up, Jeff, let me ask you this. What is the difference between Inside Scoop and Extra Scoop?
Get the Extra Scoop, bro.
So here's the thing, what happened with it, right? So we were going to try to make it where maybe once a month or twice a month, Peyton came on our show and just kind of had her own little segment on it, just to kind of give a female side of it. But then when that happened was when we switched from like Wednesday to like Monday, and it didn't work out for her. So I just said, okay, well, what if we just had your own like a half-hour show once a month, and let's just see how this goes. And if I'm the one that has to get it started, then I'll do that. Just because she came on our show and it really clicked. And I really like Peyton. I just felt like it was a good way to give her an opportunity to grow. And I don't know, so
Peyton's cool, man. Peyton's one of my favorite people, man. I like Peyton. She's real cool.
So
cool. So is she officially a member of the main game?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
I would say so. I mean, but again, do we want to put her?
Hasn't chained her yet. Travis hasn't chained her, put a chain on her, or nothing like that.
I know, right? Do we want to put her in our group of guys text? I don't really think so.
Probably not. Honestly, it's not like nobody has said anything inappropriate in that group.
Especially
not yet.
After today's shoot.
What'd you say, Angel?
Especially after today's message that we got a couple hours ago.
I don't even know what you're talking. I haven't looked at it, man.
With Skip Bayless, y'all didn't know?
I didn't read it, man. That came through. I was teaching, so I didn't look at it.
It's still up there. Do not go and look at Skip Bayless's page. It's some wild stuff up there, man.
Very wild.
All right, everyone. Stay safe. Stay strong. We'll holler at you next week, and I will play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.